to see if you guys got the one from the governor. That I sent that little.
Yes. Yes, I had that. Yeah.
And then I went in.
Impressive.
Well, then I found out that there's more pictures, but I don't know how to get them. You got to go to Latino that conference I went into, and then there's other pictures that they took.
Oh, okay.
Somebody brought to my attention that we were. Matter of fact, it was funny because Friday night we were watching TV, and they got this segment on parks, and they gave me about a 3-minute play on my park in just outside of what is that park? But it's on the north side, and they showed my rabbit. Well, no, this one had all the rabbits and all my other animals.
There was Jeffrey Bear.
Right.
Te quiero tanto, te quiero, porque conmigo eres buena, porque también tú me quieres, mi Magdalena, porque también tú me quieres, mi Magdalena.
The poet has to leave, so we're going to do this.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. My name is Maria Villarreal. Welcome on behalf of Under the Bridge. This is our cultural night. This is something my husband Roman Villarreal and I decided to, well, Roman actually, decided to, hey Marie, let's do something different and bring some artwork into the East Side. So on behalf of all our friends who helped us create this exhibit, we want to welcome you. And we have a young guest. We want to introduce the artist, but we also have a young guest who is going to do a poem for us because she has to leave. So without further, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, like Maria was saying, everybody, welcome to our first Noche de Cultura here on Under the Bridge. And what we're going to do tonight is we're kind of putting everything together as we're going along. What we're going to be seeing first tonight for the first time will be our young poet. Now, when I first seen this poem, I was by Sarah's place, and we were at the center, and Sarah just got through publishing for her winter program that's coming out in December. What is it? December what?
December 2nd.
I think December 8th. We're having a thing there. But anyways, in there is a thing and the first thing that when we seen it was her poem. So I grabbed the poem, I looked at it, I said, wow, this is beautiful. And I was so impressed with it that I said, no, we're gonna invite her here, and this is her debut. This is the first time that she'll be reciting, and I hope this is one of many. So we gotta be very proud to have her here for the first time, our young poet. Say your name first. Say your name first.
Hi, my name is Nadia Vargas. This is my I Am From poem. I am from birthday parties and Saturdays and Sundays that my cousins come by for fun. I am from tacos de carne asada and that smoky grilled smell. I am from Calumet Park and their beach. I am from Mexico and the stories my mom tells me about my grandmother and the crazy fake gunfight. I am from the art center where I draw and create and feel safe. I am from the taste of mouth-watering candy that makes me loca. I am from walks with my sister through snow, rain, and the burning sun. I am from deep memories that stay in pictures.
That was great. Okay, but before Maria leaves, now what we're doing here is we're gonna be introducing all our artists to have to say a few words. This is one of our artists from the South Chicago Art Center who has a brilliant career coming her way. She's going to school. So this is going to be one of our featured artists that we're very proud of.
Oh,
Maria?
Thank you. Well, my name is Maria. I love going to the South Chicago Art Center. I like making art and interacting with the kids. They're a big inspiration to everyone here, I'm sure. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what to say.
Well, as we get along, she has more to say, but right now, again, this is Maria, and as we go along, I'll introduce everybody's work, but her work is over here in this file.
Oh, yeah.
But any question before she
That
leaves?
little elf thing with the leaves is mine.
That's yours?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
But like all artists, she did it at the last minute.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
The day before. So I was in a hurry.
Okay, this is another one of, see, this is one of our other artists. This is our young photographer. She also is from the South Chicago Art Center Cultura. Now, she's going to, what school?
I'm going to Columbia College.
Can
Can I say my name?
say your name and which,
Okay. My name is Cecilia Mejares. I'm from the South Chicago, and right now I'm going to Columbia College to study photography. So before I got interested in photography, I had a big passion of art and just drawing and painting, but the one thing that I could never do was draw or paint anything out of my head, so I often just used pictures, and that's where I really fell in love with photography. So the South Chicago Art Center really helped me develop as an artist and get better at my work, and just introduced me into different medias of art.
Okay, thank you. Now, hopefully, in the near future, we're going to be planning for more different varieties of shows. If not here, somewhere in the southeast side or South Chicago. But the next one we're going to have is going to definitely be a photography show. Speaking of photographers, this is the photographer.
Here you go.
This is
Just a photographer.
He's been around. No, don't let him fool you. This guy has been recording us for many, many years. He has some of the most unique photographs because he caught us working when we're struggling, breaking stone. So if anybody ever puts together a book later on in South Chicago, this is going to be a real South Chicago. He put the book, something great together. And I could see a book done by Corey in the near future, believe it or not. Corey?
I'm glad you think of me that way.
Oh, good. I have to. I'm very proud of him.
Thank you. No, I've been around for about, I think I started picking up the camera when I was 19, so more than 12 years, 13 years. And I grew up on the 93rd in Ewing over there, underneath all the steel and the train. I grew up 10 feet away from train tracks, and kind of anywhere else in the city doesn't have that much steel and the beauty and like the decay of it. And I've always embraced it, and like every East Sider, like, oh, we're from the East Side, it's not like that anywhere else. And even when I was taking this photo here, the guy's like, why do you want to take a picture of that? It's so ugly. I was like, it's beautiful. And he's like, nah, it's ugly. And I was like, I'll show you the picture when I'm done. I never took it back to him, but I thought it was beautiful when I was done. But yeah, I just, I carry my camera everywhere, and I still do. Now it's in my phone, and just snap pictures wherever I can. And mostly it happens to be on the east side. Ironically, I now work for the railroad, and I ended up working right down the street, and I get front row access to all the stuff that I used to shoot from a distance. Now I shoot from afar, so the book's gonna be even a little more interesting now. But if there ever is a book. But yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now I'd like to introduce Liz. This is another fellow artist from the community in the bush. Now, she's a very interesting young woman for the simple fact that she went to the Academy of Art with a lot of our friends in the early years. And it's amazing the work that comes out of the Academy, because once you master certain things and you start doing this, then you go after yourself, and then you become this one great artist. So when you get a chance, and any questions, this is her work behind you. This is a very impressive collection of her work, and that's nothing what's going to be coming pretty soon. That's what we're waiting for. Luce?
Hi, my name is Luz Godina, and I'm a fine artist. I've gone to the American Academy of Art for 6 years, got my bachelor's, and I am doing what I love the most, which is art. I think it's the core of my existence. I've been doing art most of my life. Professionally, probably about 10 years. I've been exhibiting for the last 5 years. And I got connected with Maria and the Claretian Center, Roman. I want to be more of a part of South Chicago, bringing the arts more into the neighborhood. I think we can do it. We have a lot of strong artists here, and I just think that if we all get together and put our heads together, I think that it can be done. If you could please just stop by and take a look at my stuff. I do anything else besides oil painting. I do charcoal, graphite, watercolor, anything art related I do. Thank you.
This is Mark Richardson. We go back a lot of years. We've been showing together for the past, I think, 10 years, all over the city of Chicago, suburbs, Indiana. This is a hard-working man. I mean, when you see all the caliber work that he has, this is just a small tip because this is a hard-working man.
Yeah, and it's kind of hard to be in front of the camera. I don't like the camera too much, but I met Roman down in the south side of Chicago. I'm from the low end. We call it the low end, 26th Street, 22nd Street, around in that little area right there, where you've seen all the little project buildings. I'm a product from the project. So this is not a really good representation of what I really do. I do that kind of work, the abstract work and everything. One of my guys that I really like is Jackson Pollock, and I like Picasso. If you see my woodwork, it's more like a urban concept of Picasso, and most of my work is more urban. And I actually been showing for the last probably 15 years at various galleries, and a lot of my work is in various collections and everything. So when I met Roman, I'm just crazy about artwork, no matter who it comes from. I'm crazy about it. So when I met Roman, I seen Roman had these major big pieces of stone. I'm like, you know, I'm used to drawing on paper and wood and everything. How does this man move this stone around? So I got with these guys, and then I seen the world of art on another level now. You know, these guys, they're doing great work. So I heard some people say they went to this school or that school. I call the school that I go to is a school of life. I'm like a sponge. I like to sponge off of the energy of people who's doing real powerful creative things, and I feel if you're giving in reference to art, you're gonna give back. So I'm in the give back stage now. I'm trying to get really paid for my work now. Right, and I'm Mark Richardson, Chicago, Illinois. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is another fellow artist. It's interesting because about a year ago, I started working my first metalworks. When we first met, he's a metal sculptor, and we got together and we started, you know, messing around in his studio, and we picked up things, and he started telling me, Ron, just go over there and pick up all these things from the thing, and let's see what we could all do.
The worst of the worst.
And that's how we ended up creating some of the things, because everything that we had was found on the floor of the area where he was working at. And it was a fun, because usually as a sculptor who works with direct stone, we don't work in that manner. So when I was working with him, I really liked it because it was something different, and I really liked the challenge. Oswaldo?
Oswaldo. I'm Oswaldo. I'm an outsider, I guess. I do metal. My main media is metal. You can see a couple of my pieces there. Found objects, maybe. I also get into other stuff, especially like functional art. And yeah, like he said, it was like a completely different matter with stone. After I met this guy, I started seeing, obviously, rocks and stone from a different point of view, faces and whatnot, you know. And then I learned, and really, stone and wood, you take off, while welding, you add. I think it's a lot easier, but The only difference is that you almost need to be a welder, I guess, to do that, you know, so it combines a couple of things and not just the artist part. It's also like a craftsman. But yeah, art is crazy, it's addictive, takes you to, I guess, I don't know how to call it, maybe like, I don't know if I want to call it like a different level or what in life or what, but something like that, you know. Yeah, it's just a crazy, crazy, crazy feeling about art and everything else and what it does, I guess, to the world, humanity, and everything else.
But the interesting that he said, because it is true, because see, when you're working with metal, you're adding and subtracting. When you're carving stone, you can only subtract. So it's a different way of thinking, because you could add, take away. But
yeah, it's crazy.
But when you're working with stone, you can only do one thing: subtract. That's the only difference between the metal. That's why I was kind of more freer for me in the metal, because you could do these other elements that we're not used to. Okay, thank you very much. That's right. Now this is the man that has to be given credit for, because he's been around so long with us that we didn't get a chance to really thank him, because number one, Dr. Negrete has been with us a long, long time. We go back all the way to the 70s, to the early movement. He went off to school and became a doctor of música and psicología, sacred. And I went in a different direction as an outside artist into the arts. But we always stayed in touch, and every event that we've ever had together, we've always shared his music with our thing, and everything that we go back to 18th Street and all the early years. That's how long that we've been together, and we've been sharing our spirit with the arts, with everybody in the community. And this is one man that has supported us 100%. Dr. Negrete.
Thank you. We were here last week at the opening, and I'm like I said, I'm a musicologist professor, and what I've done is I've tried to use the corrido, which is the folk song of the Mexican people, Mexican workers, to tell their stories, and most of my work has been about men who worked in the steel mills, in the most dangerous jobs here from Detroit to the steel mills of Gary, down here to the meat packing companies. And the under the bridge concept, I was telling him, was very important, because a lot of Mexican men died and falling from bridges as they welded, as they worked on bridges. And I have a famous photograph from 1942 of a black and white of a man with a giant, he's tying in a giant gear, on a bridge. So I was very fascinated by the idea of under the bridge, and so I put together some songs and about men who died either under the bridge or over the bridge or by the bridge. And here in South Chicago, the bridge that goes to Klein Avenue, there was, I don't know, 4 or 5 guys died under that bridge. But these men, they died, but nobody ever writes a poem about them. Nobody ever writes a song about them. So the musicologist, that's what his job is, to write songs about artists and workers who have been on bridge, died on bridges. And so a lot of my recent work has been about that. And so when Roman told me about this thing is we call Under the Bridge, I said, órale. That one, And this, we have the future of this endeavor here is to, if you look at the bridge across, and if you notice communities that live under bridges, where the artists paint there's a few of them in the United States, the most famous is the one in San Diego. San Diego Highway. It's under the Coronado Bridge, where Mick Romney has a big ass house out there. but the Raza lives on this side of the bridge, and the very famous, and the columns are all murals, and that's what we're thinking, in the future, these columns, and they made a kiosco in San Diego, and so it's ideal here, because it kind of reminds you of that, and so that's kind of the future for Under the Bridge Foundation, if you will, to try to. And secondly, I was telling him that this corner right here is, if you go out there, you see it says the Ulysses S. Grant Trail. It begins right here. So this land is actually under the auspices of the Commissioner of Land and who's now is Padilla, a Chicano from Colorado. So we're gonna try to tap into that also, because this is it's a preserved space so people can do things to commemorate, to say something about the relationship between this corner, this bridge, and artists that paint under bridges. So that's us, or the artists that live in this general area of the bridge. And later on today, we'll do a small 20-minute performance piece for you, so you could enjoy it. And well, thank you very much.
And Wednesday, we'll be practicing Wednesday. Bridge. Everybody, I'd like to introduce the Sharpie King. When you first came in the door, this is the artwork of an artist that just came to our community, and we're just starting to share with Jimmy and what's going on here. His work is very impressive, and hopefully that he'll be joining us in the neighborhood for quite a while. Jimmy?
Hi, my name is Jimmy. I am from Mexico, Acapulco. I remember 20 years ago I started playing with pencil. I remember no got oil, acrylic, nothing. Which I was broke, a lot of broke, and I started, and I remember when I did the first one on pencil. Wow, what kind of color? I saw Sharpie markers on my table. Somebody forgot those. Sharpie markers. Okay, I will try. I started put color first with ink. Wow, I remember I did one woman sold frutas, very sexy, and the chip was like this 24, and I need put the food. Okay, I will put one more sheet. I did one. The first one was like this, woman, sexy. Oh, okay. I started for put the Sharpie colors with Sharpie markers. And when I finished, I introduced somebody. No, the way. How you see that? This one. Who color you use? Sharpie marker. Sharpie. No, I don't believe. Yes, it's Sharpie marker. Wow. Wow. Yes, I will start with Sharpie marker. I start my second little bit more long. One mother with baby. And I start for put more graphic, more geometry, abstract. Because the abstract for me is when, no Picasso. Picasso all time face the eyes for here, another face, eyes for over there. No. For me, one abstract with surrealismo. Complex, graphic, geometría. Yeah, I started, and yes, I did that, and wow, and the neighbor no art. How much? $50. 50. And for him, introducing more people. Go on my home. My home was my galleria because a lot of art in my first home apartment. I started for introduce my art with Sharpie markers on the neighbors, and I quit my wife, I quit my job, I quit everything. I was alone, and I start for the many gallerias and Hoster. I bring one galleria. They help. I was my first studio deal, and the owner was my first manager. Talk to the guys, Sharpie markers, the directora, managers, everybody. Introduce for come, this show. You will see art with Sharpie markers. I did one mural. The name is my carnival number 1. It's 100 sheets. It's long. And my second carnival is little bit more small, 50 sheets. And everywhere I have art with Sharpie markers. And they start, the manager say, wow, you are the king, my friend. Really? Oh, really? Yeah, you like it? Yes. Okay. And I remember that guy, Gil, put me one website in internet, meet the Sharpie King, and that was good. Got good because now I enjoy each art I do. I enjoy because it's my baby, because it's my baby. I know when you make one art complicate, which the name is complicated for me. No graphic, no geometry, no, it's complicated because one art like that is, wow, full time, and I enjoy. And is that. Thank you.
The good thing about, while he's here in the opportunity, his artwork is selling very, very, very reasonable. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's so reasonable. If anybody's really interested in his work, you have to talk to him because it's one of a kind, and I think he's great. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to pass the music off to our friend Dave Vargas. Me and Dave go all the way back to high school. But we all went in, everybody went in different directions, the arts, the music, but the one thing about people in South Chicago, once you dedicate yourself to something, you never stop. We kept doing. That's how he developed what he did, because once he started DJing, he never stopped. He kept going, and it's been going on for what, Dave? About how long now?
Till today.
Well, which is the 60s. We go back to the 60s,
Yeah,
but...
I started collecting music in grammar school in the 50s, yeah. It hasn't stopped yet, so.
Well, the funny thing is, there's no more records no more. He would just say he gave away all his records, because that stuff, no, you don't need that stuff no more, but I was good in the early years, because I remember these guys used to carry boxes of records in the early years, and now it's all right there. Okay, we're going to, because there's a few more people coming later on, more of the artists, so for right now, this will be this particular end of this part. And we're going to start the music.
But I only talked to him briefly because we were leaving.
You know, we're doing a live film here, putting together kind of documentary. So, like I said, I'd like to do a little piece about these workers who came to South Chicago and Hammond and in 1926, you know, when the first migration came, and then move on to the period of the braceros. And I live about 20 minutes. The year was 1928. Things in Mexico were very hard. Men could not leave the land. And the corrido said that life on the rancho was hard. How hard was it? The corrido said, se me reventó el barzón y sigue la yunta andando. ¡Ay! ¡Ay!
Esas tierras del patrón las siembro con un güey pato. Cuando llegue a media tierra, vino el rico y la partió. Todo mi más se llevó, ni pa' comer me dejó. Te presento aquí la cuenta, aquí debes 20 pesos de la renta de unos güeyes, 5 pesos de maguey, otro peso una coyuta, 5 pesos de unas tunas, otro peso un pantalón, 5 pesos de un calzón, otro peso no sé de qué, además de 20 reales que le debes a la hacienda, ahora ponte a trabajar. Este pelado ni calzones me dejó. Yo le dije a mi amada, oye vieja, qué viejo, no tú vieja, no tú viejo, no tú vieja. Mejor vámonos allá al United States. Porque aquí en México, las gallinas de arriba siempre se cagan a las de abajo. Señores, yo voy a contarles todo lo que yo sufrí desde que dejé mi patria, desde que dejé mi patria, por venirme a este país. Llegamos a Ciudad Juárez. ¡Ay! Juárez. ¡Ay! Llegamos a Ciudad Juárez.
The drummers from the community, this is Harry and Mark, and they're here to join us. But then again, Harry is one of our artists here in the community. My friend Harry here, like I mentioned in the earlier mention, is a jack of all trades. There is nothing Harry can't do. Harry is a sculptor, Harry is a painter, he works with wire, he works with this. But
still a lot we can do, we still need money.
But we're trying, So, let me introduce Harry, like I said, Harry Dietrich.
Yes. He's been trying hard to get me over here, so it's very nice to be in the midst of a bunch of beautiful artists. There's a lot of artists on the south side of Chicago, east side of Chicago, and also in Hammond. So it's good when you can see the work like this, even though we're spread out all over the place. We do have different places that we come together to show our work and share in a artistic environment, and hope that the young people can see some value in some of the work that you see here. And most of the work you see here didn't come overnight. Most of this stuff began from childhood. So the little ones need to know that what they're doing in art class as children will eventually take off later on in life if they choose that route in life like we have as artists. So that's about all I have to say pertaining to spreading the art around. Thank you.
Now I'd like to introduce somebody that's very helpful in everything that we did right now on the show. If it hadn't been for Maria Villarreal, none of this would have get done because we collaborated together. When actually the first idea first came out, I shared it with her and I said, hey, I have an idea. It's actually a whim. Because this studio was actually supposed to be nothing but an art space. And so I talked it over with her and I said, hey, you know what, let's do something a little bit different. Before we go into this, what do you think of us putting together a show? It's hard. It's very difficult. A lot of it fell on her shoulders, but we were able to pull it off, which wasn't a great thing because the timing, we did it in such a fast timing. Because we will never ever do a show of this caliber as fast as we did. Now I'd like to introduce Maria Villarreal, fellow artist, and my wife.
Good evening. My work is here, and it's visual art. I'm a visual artist. I'm also a teacher. I teach all over the city. And when I have the opportunity to create my work, it gets a little intense. So I just would like to say I enjoy doing my art. I hope I find time to do more art. And I would love everyone to come and enjoy the show. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. Again, that was my wife, Maria Villarreal. And like I said, the most important thing about what we did together is the collaboration, because without both work, it was very difficult to put this together. But right now, I'm glad that it's here and everybody's enjoying it. And I hope the people that doesn't get an opportunity come during the week or during the month of December and join us here at Under the Bridge.
Is there any other events scheduled now for December?
Well, we are scheduling something, but we really haven't put it together yet. What we would like to do is do a lot of private things with clubs, churches, where they could bring in a small group of friends or something like that and join us here for, say, a cocktail party or a quick brunch or something. And everybody's more than welcome. Just feel free, call us and make the arrangements. And contact Roman Villarreal, and I'll make the arrangements for.
You had mentioned earlier about schools as well. Are you working with schools?
Well, schools are very important to us. We're really trying to make that contact now. So we're really going to concentrate our effort for the schools and see how many young people we could get to come and see our show. That's very, very important to us as one of our main goals, along with the senior citizens. That's very important to us that we're going to be bringing a group of senior citizens and young people. I think that's our main concentration is going to be that. It's very, very important to us, those two elements. Okay, I'd like to introduce two fellow artists that just walked in. This is a longtime friend of mine. We've been friends since the latter part of the 60s. We all went to high school together. This is Robert Pio Ramirez. Pio?
Thank you. Like Roman said, my name is Robert Ramirez, but I go by the name of Pito. And as he stated, I've been an artist off and on over the years, pursuing it on a more consistent basis now, and hope to be doing a lot more. And I appreciate everybody so far for supporting me and appreciating my art. And I just want to keep growing as an artist, and I love the lifestyle, I love my fellow artists, I love the fact that they appreciate my art, and that's what keeps me going.
Now I'd like to introduce a great friend of mine that we've been together for the last easy 20-something years, 25 years. We go back to the early 80s as sculptors. We've been working together as sculptors in different studios in the city of Chicago. Currently, for the last 12 years, we've been working together on a studio in Indiana. It's just a warehouse. It really doesn't have a name, but we've been there as sculptors for the last 12 years, and we've been doing some of the most major works in the city from that studio. My friend Sura is what we refer to in the art world as Renaissance. Renaissance basically means an artist that can literally do anything and everything. He's a musician, he's a drummer, sculptor, painter, draws. And this is some of the things that as an urban artist, when you're developing coming in from the outside, you develop all these odd skills to survive. And that's why the word Renaissance is so important to us, because some of us really actually fit, and this particular friend of mine fits the word Renaissance to the T. Let me introduce you.
I appreciate that introduction.
Oh, no problem.
Oh yeah, boy. Art is very important to us as human beings on this planet. You know, we all have inspiration that's instilled with us, and sometimes we're the givers, and sometimes we're the receivers. And I think, you know, I've been in a position of being a part of the giving part of it in terms of being an expression of God, you know, all the wonderful things that God has created. We're just imitating some of the things that He has bestowed upon us. Roman is very instrumental in my life. We've been together for a long period of time, and we inspire each other. We do a lot of storm work together. We argue and fuss about techniques and different things that should be done, but we learn from each other. I think that's the most important thing in life, is that we share, we listen to each other, and we look at each other's works. We try to appreciate it to the point where that we can share, talk about each other's work and make it better for each one of us. So I think, art is very inspirational, and it gives us a light. It's almost like the sun, it shines in our life. And a lot of people that don't do artwork, they are inspired to do anything that they do in life. If you're the cameraman, or you interview people, you're inspired by the fact that, we're up in here and all this artwork is being shown. You're inspired, and all the people around us have some kind of inspiration, especially our children. Our children are most important. If we can leave something that they can see or hear or even read, whatever, that's the key to our life and to our legacy that affects everybody in the future. Because what you do now on this planet while you're alive is extremely important, and you are responsible. Once you become conscious, you become responsible for whatever act that you do, that make sure that it inspires somebody else's life. Thank you very much.
This is one of our fellow artists from the community who just joined us recently. What we're hoping to do with Fernando Garcia in the near future is that his work is just kind of beginning. So we're going to get ready to see what the next works that are coming out. He's working in oils, pencil, and acrylic. So what we're getting ready to do, and he's going to be joining the studio, but what we're hoping for in the near future is the caliber of artwork that we're going to hear. Because everybody so far that has seen his work is so impressed with the way he's dealing with the style and the pencils. But that's a lot of technique involved in what he's doing. So we're very proud of the community that we have another person that shows the quality of what we're actually doing in South Chicago. Fernando Garcia. Hello, and can you say your name?
Hello, Fernando Garcia, also known as Freddy. He explained everything already. So the artwork is there. I will be doing more pieces.
Gary Juarez goes by the name of Traz. We've been together for the last 10 years. What's interesting about our friendship in here is they belong to a studio named Kisa Studios. We all met years ago through the arts. I love through the arts. And once we all came together as artists, what was cool about everything is the way we're sharing everything that's going on in Indiana and South Chicago. They're always experimenting, they're trying new things. In other words, what's happening in Kisa is growing because everything that happened in Indiana for the last couple of years came through Kisa Studios. I am very fortunate that I was able to share in a number of the shows there at Kisa Studios. But Traz here is one of the founders of the group, and he's also working with a really interesting material that I pointed out in the last interview. He's working with metal and oxidation and rust. It's a new material that he's working with, and he's pioneering it. Again, this is Traz, Gary Juarez.
How you doing? Traz, Gary Juarez, Kisa Studio, creationist artist. Some of the mediums that I currently work with is oxidation and metal, along with aerosol, spray paint, and conceptual art as well. We also house in Kisa Studio / Gallery. We're at 938 Hoffman Street in Hammond, Indiana. And we showcase our local talent as well as my fellow artists' work as well.
Okay, now on closing, we would like to thank some few people that actually helped us out in this particular thing. We'd like to thank...
We would like to thank Geraldo's Bakery over here on the east side for donating the bread. We would also like to thank Ace Hardware Store in South Chicago for donating water. And we would also like to thank all the other artists and friends who brought in a little bit of something to eat. Thank you.
And then we want to thank David Vargas, the DJ, for bringing his time here and sharing his music with us. We're very thankful that he participated in this. And if there's anybody that we forgot, it's not that it's because we're doing this, but we really appreciate everybody to come join us in the near future for future shows that were happening here. We're going to be trying to sending more emails out in the near future on what we plan to do. But if anybody wants to join us and sees anything what's going on, feel free to call us, make an appointment, and we will be here to help anybody out, whether it's group shows, 3 or 4 people. We'll be more than glad to open up the studio for you. Again, this is Roman Villarreal, Maria Villarreal from Under the Bridge, and everybody have a good holiday, and hopefully we'll be able to share more of these events with the community in the near future.
Thank you.